What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 227, and we start today's episode off with a scout report here. Now, this was the last scout report of the last season. As you can see, we were just about to go into the Confederations Cup group stage, of course, which was in the last episode and ended in disaster. So I thought I'd just save that footage and wait for the new season to show you it. Basically, we signed one of those players, Jermaine Smith, I think his name was, to our academy, but the rest looked quite average, and there you go. And we also do indeed end the last season officially. Again, I mentioned this last season actually. The reason I don't show all that stuff in chronological order is because I don't want it to get, muddled up with the international stuff, basically. But anyway, we ended the season. The only important things you need to see is that one youth player signed for us for our academy. Vargas said he's happy to stay. Niang won Player of the Year. I won Manager of the Year, which is fantastic. And we then completely officially ended the season. And the board were happy, as you can expect. We matched all our objectives. We reached the Champions League final. Champions League semi-final even. We won the domestic cup, and we also won the Premier League. So the board were happy, and of course they want us to stay here. So we will. So we start the new season with Arsenal, possibly the final season with with this career mode. We'll have to wait and see. It probably is going to be the case, but you never know. You never know. Still, as you can see, we have a score monthly report to start the season off as per usual. We also find out these two players have joined us on a pre-contract. Also, as well, the transfer market is now open. And here are our objectives. As you can see, for the domestic cup, the board want us to win one, which is fine. We did that last year. As for the league, they also want us to win the league title, which again we did last year. So of course we've got to be targeting the same thing again, obviously. And for the Champions League, again, Arsenal said semi-finals, which is quite lenient, I guess. I would have thought that they'd be targeting a final this year. But the season's budget is £39.5 million, and to be honest, that's not a bad budget. I mean, don't get me wrong, £39.5 million isn't something to turn your nose up at, but I was still expecting a little bit better, like I really was. I was expecting 50 to 60 million pounds. I guess really I just expected that the board would, increase our aims in the Champions League to reach the final or win it, because last year, of course, we reached the semi-final, so I thought they might go one or two steps further. As you can see, the stats of those two players who arrived on a pre-contract there, Carboni and that attacking midfielder. But yeah, £40 million, or just under £40 million, I should say. Again, due to the wage budget alteration should have to make us probably more about £30 million, to be honest. It's not bad, and I'm not trying to sound like, it's nowhere near good enough or acceptable, but I was just expecting a little bit more. Let's just say that. Even so, we did decide to put in bids for a couple of players right to begin this summer transfer window off with. The first one is Lassie of Barcelona. Now, this guy was expected to sign for us last year until you guys voted against it and decided to sign Savanier instead. Lassie's now gone up by 1 rating. He might cost a little bit more than last year. We had a £19 million fee agreed with Barcelona, but you guys said no, so he might cost a little bit more now that he's gone up a rating. We'll have to wait and see. And also this guy, Nicola De Vito, who plays for Sassuolo in Serie A. He's 23 years old, 82 overall centre-back, clearly got some decent potential to grow even more than he has already. I'd predict he's probably got like 86, 87 rated potential. Now he's 23 years old. His contract's up at the end of the year. Good chance to get him on a cheap deal. We'll have to wait and see what happens though. And also Wolfsburg came in for Lazari as well, the first transfer offer for one of our players, and of course we said no, Lazari is going nowhere. And as you can see, Sassuolo and Barcelona rejected our initial bids for De Vito and also Lassie. Sassuolo want £11.5 million for De Vito, which I'll be totally fine paying. He's valued at £11 million right now. He's only going to get better, and £11.5 million is just 500 grand over his valuation. I'd still rather get him for a cheaper deal, as his contract is up at the end of the year. He is 23 years old, so he can be signed on a pre-contract, but if we can get him in now, we may as well do so, because again, this will probably be the last season of this career mode. And also Lassie, Barcelona want £28 million for the guy, which I don't really want to pay, but he would be a great long-term replacement for Aaron Ramsey. He's got very good defensive stats, good passing stats as well. He'd be a great player to play in the holding midfield position for Ramsey's long-term replacement. Also, a big came in for Odi Barjo from Atalanta, and we asked for £20 million, because Odi Barjo, despite not growing a single rating or a single attribute last year, had a really healthy goal-to-game ratio for a squad player, for a fringe player, so I'd rather keep him, to be honest, and sell him for less than what we paid for him, even if he's not going to grow, because as a squad player, you can't really complain with him, can you, for his goal-to-game ratio. Lazio, and also Sassuolo and Barcelona once again rejected bids for Lassi and De Vito. So we put in new bids for them, and again, these are my only two proper transfer targets. I really don't think, I was talking about the £39.5 million budget a minute ago like it was a really bad thing, but I really don't think we need to spend, big bucks this season. I really don't. We've got a very healthy squad. Most of the players have still got room to grow and get even better. So I don't really feel like we need to go all guns blazing to pull off a big signing for, to spend all the budget on him basically to completely improve the first team, because we've got players. I think we've got like 6 players in the first 11 right now that are 85 plus rated, which is a lot, so we don't really need to spend the big bucks, to be honest. Another bid comes in for Lazari, and again we reject it. Also, Edison Rojas has joined Aston Villa as well, which I'm fine with because he never played for us and I don't think we'd ever need him. And also rejects again for De Vito and Lassi from Sassuolo and Barcelona. So for Sassuolo, I gave them £11 million, that's his valuation, and also for Lassi, I upped it to £26 million, I do believe it was, just because, even though I think we probably could have got them a little bit cheaper, it got to a stage now where I was realising that if they rejected the next bid, they might come to us and block all negotiations, so I thought I may as well up it to a bid which is acceptable, and we'll wait and see what they say. I also put in a bid for Harrison Reed, just because in case the Lassi deal falls through, Harrison Reed wouldn't be a bad replacement for Ramsey either. 26 years old, 82 overall, and he is of course a member of Southampton's side that are now in the Championship after they finished rock bottom of the Premier League last year. So I put in a bid for a Reed of £7.5 million plus Illaramendi, and we'll wait and see what they say. But to be honest, we all know how this game works, even though in real life those clubs would probably accept those bids, knowing that those players are good enough to play in the Premier League and wouldn't be satisfied staying in the Championship. Luke Daniels is an 88 rated goalkeeper playing for Charlton, picking up his paycheck week after week and seemingly perfectly happy at the Valley, so we know what this game's like, and that's probably not going to come off because Southampton have no problem holding him against his will to stay at St Mary's. But even so, QPR came back to us regarding Patrick Roberts, and as you can see, they said they'd give us £3 million. We asked for £3.1 million, but £3 million is fine. So Roberts is gone. He never really developed the way we were hoping, so I'm okay with that. And also, Southampton did reject the bid for Harrison Reed. Not a real surprise, so that's not going to happen really, but it's not really going to matter because De Vito and Lassi both have the chance to sign for us, as Sassuolo and Barcelona did accept the transfer offers of £11 million and £26 million respectively. The De Vito bid isn't an overspend at all, that's a totally legitimate offer, but as for, as you can see, Roberts gets sold to QPR there. As for Lassi, £26 million is an awful lot of money, so I was looking at it, and De Vito declined his contract, Lassi accepted his, so I gave De Vito a new one, and also Lassi was available to be signed. So I looked at Lassi and I was thinking, do I really want to spend £26 million on this holding midfielder who won't even go into the first 11 right now, because obviously Ramsey has actually gone up to an 86 rated midfielder. You'll see that in the next episode. He's gone up a rating, and he's only 30 years old, so he's still got 1 or 2 more years before he starts to decrease. Do I really want to sign this guy for a big fee right now? I stalled it for the time being, and I'll wait and see what happens. But also, Chris Ince is not going to Espanyol. We reject that transfer offer, and as you can see, De Vito did indeed accept his contract, so De Vito wants to come and join us at the Emirates. That's great. He was the signing I really wanted, because he could go straight into the first 11 right now for a pretty cheap deal, considering what he could be worth in a few years' time. And as for Lassi, again, I wasn't really sure about it. I was thinking, do I want to sign this guy? I'm not too sure. But even so, his De Vito stats regardless, he becomes the first signing of the summer transfer window. Again, looks really solid, both physically, mentally, and technically as well. And you'll see his weak foot and skill move ratings there as well. He looks really solid and can go straight into the first 11 right now and take Mario Williams' place, and I'll be okay with that. And as for Lassi, I did decide in the end to take him, just because, he and De Vito were my 2 transfer targets, and it would be silly to, reject a transfer target I was angling for. If I can sign him, I may as well do so. And again, there was no one else I was looking at and thinking, yeah, I really want to get him, whereas I felt that way with Lassi. So even though it is a bit of an overspend, I still thought I may as well just take the hit of £26 million, because it is a lot for this guy. But I'd say it'll be worth it if we continue this career mode for a long period of time, because I'm confident he's going to keep on growing, and it'll be the perfect long-term replacement for Ramsey. So Lassi comes in, so does De Vito. Those are our first 2 signings of the summer transfer window. They probably will be our only 2 signings of the summer transfer window, to be honest, because I've got no one else I'm really thinking of right now and thinking I'd like to sign. Of course, we've only got £6 million left now after those 2 players come in, but you never know, maybe 1 or 2 more deals could be pulled off in the next episode or so. And there you go. But that is going to end the episode, guys. So as always, big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. As per usual, the first episode of the new season is always filled with just transfer business only and no games. So if you don't like episodes with no games, I do apologise. But I hope you enjoyed the episode regardless. If you did, then please do consider leaving a like rating. Really does help my channel out, but of course you don't have to if you don't want to. And I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode. Let's go with tomorrow afternoon.